everyone, welcome back to Cello Tips. I'm sorry it's been a while since I was with you all. Got a little bit busy with some things, but I hope to be back giving you a few more of these now. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about playing on the C string. So the C string is something that is very special and very important to all of us cellists. It's really a defining component to the beauty and the resonance of our instrument. So I think it's very important that we learn how to take best advantage of that. So I have a few tips for you all about this, about playing on the C string and how it differs from playing on the other strings. I think perhaps the most important thing to remember is that the C string is the largest and thickest of the four strings on the cello. And that means a couple of things. Firstly, it means that it's going to take more in order to get it to ring. It's going to take more resistance, more of a bite, more energy in order to get it to go back and forth, as opposed to the A string or the other strings, which are thinner than the C string. And additionally, since this is a heftier string, that means that it has more give in it. So if you imagine a big tightrope, and if that tightrope is very thin and you stand on it, it's going to dip down a lot easier and a lot further than if that's a very thick tightrope, right? So when we use our bow on the C string, that means that we can allow a lot more weight and depth into the string. And it's not going to reject that weight or squeak as much as the A string might. So when we apply that weight, there are a few things that it's important to take care of. Firstly, a lot of cellists, when they want to put more weight or get a bigger sound, that sound comes from up here, from the shoulder and the upper arm, and this causes so much tension. And it really doesn't let the sound bloom and resonate in the way that it could. So I always try to remember, if instead you create the sound from your back, that's what's going to really allow the weight to come into the string. And being on the C string, this is actually very convenient for us because it allows the arm to rest in a downwards position like this. Whereas in the A string, the arm is stuck up here and it's very awkward to try to get the weight into it. But when we're on the C string, it's right there for us. So we can really just lean into it. This gets a little into something else about the bow technique, which is pronation versus supination. And a lot of people talk about the importance of pronation all the time in cello playing, and it certainly has a great importance and a great benefit. But there are a few cases that I would actually argue supination is going to allow for more natural use of the weight. And one of those cases is when you're playing down bow on the C string here. See, if I try to pronate here, by doing this with my arm, it brings the weight up here again. And we already talked about that. That's not going to help you. You want to bring the weight from back here. And supination is what allows you to do this. You can see the sound is a lot better, as opposed to this does not resonate and balloon very well. So those are some things about weight and bow technique. Another quite simple thing, but something that we often forget about, is that often when we play on the A string, we tend to lean the instrument a little bit to the right because it makes playing more comfortable, more natural. But the problem is when we come to the C string like this, suddenly we are stuck here and there's no room. Your knee is in the way, everything is getting kind of locked and tight. So instead, I suggest on the C string, turn your cello slightly to the left, to the opposite direction. That should be much easier. It will feel like you're playing in a normal position rather than this tight choked position. Yeah. So those are two big things that I think will help a lot. The final suggestion that I have for you is when you're playing at the frog and down bow, really point the tip away from you. You see, if I play like this, then by the angle of my bow in relation to the bridge, it is gently allowing my bow to go in towards the bridge and have a resistance in there in the sweet spot up against the bridge. See, if I point the tip away on the down bow, you see I'm falling away from the bridge now. I'm going up towards the fingerboard, and you're going to lose the sound that way. In order to get the most rich and deep sound, you want to be as close as possible to the bridge without it cracking and squeaking. So I strongly suggest that point the tip away from you when you play on the down bow here. Now on the up bow, it's okay to slightly adjust that, but not drastically, just slightly. So those are a few helpful tips I have for you. There are other things pertaining to the setup of your instruments, the type of strings you use, which I did address in a previous video, and I might go a bit more in depth into instrument setup and things like that if you all would like in a future video. But I hope that this has been helpful for you, and I hope that that gives you some ideas that you can incorporate into your own playing on the C string. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.